Hi there, I'm Pastor Mike, and welcome to my weekday podcast. We're looking each day at what it means to be a disciple of Jesus. And we've seen that the first element of being a disciple is to be a believer, and the second is to be a follower. And that to be a follower will be costly in that we need to surrender our will and obey God's will for our lives. Now, the second area that we need to surrender as well as our will is our selfish ambition. Philippians 2:3-4 says this: "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, rather in humility value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of others." Selfish ambition here can be understood as the desire to elevate oneself or put one's own interests before others. And the Greek word used here refers to contentiousness. In fact, the King James Bible translates the word as strife. As human beings, we are selfish by nature. The English philosopher Thomas Hobbes said this: "And seeing every man is presumed to do all things in order to his own benefit, no man is a fit arbitrator in his own cause." Now, the prisoner's dilemma is a game that's used often in business, and when tested with people shows why two completely rational individuals might not cooperate, even if it appears that it's in their best interest to do so. And it proves that humans are inherently selfish and self-centered, the opposite to how a disciple of Jesus must be. There is no room for self when we are a disciple. Today's teaching within Western Christianity is generally very selfish and self-centered. It's all about me, myself, I. Many Christians today are focused on how God can build up their finances and help them prosper, or how God can heal any physical ailments that they may be suffering from, or how God can otherwise improve their life here on earth. Each aspect is correct, but should not be our focus. It is contrary to what Jesus taught. His message on discipleship was about living a life of self-denial, crucifying self and obeying God whatever the cost. Why? Because our reward would be so much greater than anything we ever have to suffer or sacrifice. Hebrews 12:2 says this about why Jesus endured the cross. He says, "Fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith, for the joy that was set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and then sat down at the right hand of the throne of God." Now, if you have a pen or paper to hand, or a tablet or a phone with a notes app, why not take a few seconds right now and write down what joy Jesus had that helped him endure the cross. Okay, maybe you wrote that it was the joy of knowing how many millions of people would be saved through his sacrifice. Maybe you said it was the joy of being obedient to his Father's will. Now, both, of course, would be correct. When we become a follower of Jesus, we cannot remain selfish and plan our lives around personal gain and pleasure. That doesn't mean that when we follow Jesus, that we'll have to give up our careers and sell all that we have and give all our proceeds to the poor, although we do hold these things lightly in order that they don't become our priority. Some of you will know my story and how I joined the finance industry straight from school, and how my selfish ambition was to be a millionaire before the age of 30. My brothers, who were older than me, were doing very well in banking, and I wanted to follow in their footsteps. However, as hard I tried, I was always overlooked when promotions were due. And at the age of 30, I had not progressed at all. And all I had was a huge mortgage. Then, as many of you will know, I fell ill with ME, known as post-viral fatigue. And it was 18 months later, after much suffering, that I cried out to God, if you heal me, I will serve you the rest of my days. And 2 weeks later, I was healed on a Sunday morning at church. It was instant, it was complete, and it was permanent. So I knew I had to serve God for the rest of my days. And God was gracious. Although I knew I would end up in ministry, He allowed me to continue to serve in the bank for 10 years. And almost immediately after being healed, I was promoted twice in 1 year. I was given a company car, and all the things that I'd been seeking and striving for selfishly, now I was seeking God first. He was giving me. Why? Because serving God was now my priority. Now you can be ambitious, but don't allow that ambition to take the place of serving God. God wants you to succeed. He wants you to flourish in all that you do. But as Jesus said in Matthew 6:33, seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things, all of this stuff, will be added to you as well. So the thought or question for today is this: are you putting God first in your life? God bless you, and thank you for watching.